Hello, I am the current president and SKPW heavyweight champion, Samuel Falsey, primarily at Super Crazy Wrestling, and I am joined by my favorite podcast of all time, CCP Podcasting. Check them out.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? It is Friday. It is the weekend. This is what we've all been working towards. It's finally upon us. The holiday season's right around the corner. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're having a better weekend. I know I am. It's going to be chocked full of live streams all weekend long. It's going to be a long run. Man, before we get into the show today, this is Beyond the Bell, obviously. My apologies for not even mentioning that off rip, but this is definitely Beyond the Bell. I am Chris Page. Before we get started, before we get too deep into the party, right around the corner, CCP Podcasting presents Chapter 2, Next Level. It's going to be happening in Castleberry, Florida. Before we get rolling and rocking and rolling, we throw some love out to our show sponsors. First of all, One Division Pro. That's at One Division Pro over on Instagram. Massive shout out to you guys for jumping on board the sponsorship train and showing us some love and believing in the collaboration, because it's all real, man. It's all a work in progress, and things are definitely shaking. They're definitely happening. Also, new sponsor to the show, new sponsors to the channel, Custom Car Auto Solutions here in Gainesville, Florida. Huge shout out to these guys. If you want to give them a shout, if you're in the Florida area, in the Ocala, Gainesville, Orlando spot, 352-221. What is that? That's too small for me to read. I'll have to blow that up. It's right there on the screen, but you guys can see it. Shout out to you guys. We're going to be doing some business in the future. We hope that this is just the beginning of a much bigger relationship. Also, new sponsor to the channel, my peeps over at Top Notch Restorations, for Top Notch Services in Gainesville, Florida. Service in Gainesville, Ocala, down into the Orlando area. Guys, these people believe in us and what we're doing. So even if you're not here in the area, support them back, because they're throwing down and they're believing in what the process and what we're doing. Top notch, huge shout out. Looking forward to this just being the start of what will be a much bigger relationship for us. And our friends over at Fight Pro, massive shout out to Ernie and the entire crew up there. They have been big supporters of us since our live event started going on the air, and we started really making some moves. He's probably tired of me, asking him 200 questions, but that's neither here nor there. However, without you guys, we couldn't be putting this on. We couldn't be having such great talent like Devious Cass coming in. We could not be doing stuff with people like Mikey Spandex. We couldn't be doing stuff with people like Honest Cabrera and so many more. There is a loaded lineup for the January 31st Chapter 2 Next Level. Your tickets, ccbpodcasting.com. Now that that's all out of the way, guys, let's get into why we are here today. My guest, first of all, anytime that I can sit down and chat with anyone who is connected to our good brother Caius out of Texas, I am down for. And not only that, we've also chatted with this guy's tag team partner, the passionate one, Jonathon Life. He works with D'Lo Cruz and that whole crew down at Community Wrestling, which are having their first show. It's right around the corner. I believe it's next weekend. It might be this weekend, to be fair. It's one of these weekends. I'm sure that my guest today will be able to chat me up about it here in just a second. He's the man. He came to me and said, "Hey buddy, you got time?" I said, "Absolutely." So let me go ahead and give him a big welcome. My guest today, Mr. Bobby Lite. How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. Thank you so much for having me.
No, brother, I appreciate you coming in. This is these conversations are always fun for me, because I learn so much, and I dive deeper, and it's funny. Well, not funny, ironic, because we do have a live show at 7:00 tonight, and it is it's what we're calling our Lone Star Spotlight, where we're diving deeper into the Texas scene. And lo and behold, brother, you're on your way to San Antonio. So I think that's, it's ironic, if you will, as Alanis Morissette once said. But how the hell are you, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. I'm doing great right now. I actually just got out of the gym, so I'm feeling pretty fresh, pretty good. What's it called? Rushed over here to get ready for this podcast that I was super hyped to do.
Oh, stop it. We're just an independent wrestling podcast, bro. That's all we do, and watch a lot of wrestling. Over in chat, real quick, Harry's wife says hello. That is Shannon, by the way. Goth, one of my co-hosts over in the Netherlands, says hello. Welcome to CCP Podcasting. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of folks loading in as we get rolling here with these conversations,
Nice,
man.
nice.
I don't start at where do you get started in professional wrestling, man. I love to know where your fandom starts. So for me and for our audience, where does professional wrestling intersect with you? Where do you fall in love with it? And what was going on that drew you in that made you even, think about lacing a pair of boots?
So my first, I guess, like exposure to wrestling, at least watching it like on screen and stuff like that, was at a very young age, like super, super young. I want to say maybe 3 years old, like 3 years old where it started. Um, it was a moment in my life, or a time in my life where I was living in Laredo. It's in Mexico. It's a
Mm-hmm.
border city with Laredo, my hometown. Um, and I was living there with my aunt, and late night on Saturdays, they would have the replays of Friday Night SmackDown, specifically Friday Night SmackDown. I couldn't find Raw anywhere, but they had the replays of Friday Night SmackDown in Spanish. And I would just, my eyes would be glued to the screen, during that time. I think that was '04 maybe, or '05. And yeah, I was locked in with watching the like wrestling, and I didn't know the names. I didn't know like who's who. I couldn't tell you who's who, but I could tell you like that guy's my favorite because he's big and strong, and that guy's my favorite because he's fast and he's quick. And like, lo and behold, it was probably like John Cena and like Rey Mysterio or something.
I remember, see, everybody talks about John Cena. He just retired, right? I remember John
Yeah.
Cena when he was known as Prototype, bro. Like, that's how
Yeah.
far back I go with professional. I even predate that,
Yeah.
to be perfectly fair. Some of my first, you say 2005 is kind of where your memory started. I'm like, God damn, dude. 86, 85.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, God,
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm just like, fuck. That's the thing with these shows, man. I talk to so many of you guys, and I truly believe, and this is not to gas you up by any means, but I truly believe that the younger generation, we have to invest in them, right? Because you guys are the guys that are going to be carrying the industry, whether it's on the indies or whether it's mainstream, for the next several decades. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
critical that we rally behind the youth movement and get these guys kind of where they need to be. So it's not a bad thing that you're young. It's just a bad thing that I'm old. I should have been born 20 years later, and then I would have been
Nah, but it's,
right where I need to be. But that's
no. It's all experience. It's all good stuff.
when you start really putting the wheels in motion that you want to try and do some of this and get into professional wrestling. Where does that intersect? Where does that begin?
Well, I think like the moment, or like I guess like the show that I watched that like made me want to be like, oh, I want to be a wrestler like through and through, was WrestleMania 25, specifically WrestleMania 25, because my mom for my birthday bought me the DVD set. Like it's like a 3 disc set of WrestleMania 25, and I watched that show over and over and over again. I think it's probably my favorite WrestleMania just for that soul nostalgia fact. I could like talk along, kind of like a sing along, but I can talk
Mhm.
along the commentary the entire like show, so I know what they're gonna say. That's how many times I watched it.
What was your match of the show?
But it was that. Yeah,
What was your match of the show?
I'm sorry.
What was your favorite match on the show?
Oh, I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna say Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, and it's a really great match. I think it's one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. But growing up, for me, my favorite match was a triple threat between John Cena, Edge, and Big Show. Just because of
Oh,
how much it was nonstop. It was just like there was no breaks. Like it was like Big Show would get Edge, and then John Cena would get Big Show. Like, it was so fun to watch. It was really fun to watch.
see, I could not really get into that because I was never really a Big Show fan. So that would be like
No, I
immediately
get it.
taken out because, brother, they've had him flip flop so many times when he was in the Fed that it was I just like pick one and fucking go with it. Don't stop, because at this point I don't know what to believe. And to be fair, my favorite variation of Big Show was when he was mocking and mimicking all the old 80s superstars in like the late 90s when he did Hulk Hogan and he did Roddy Piper and he did their
Yeah,
entrances and like Shokishi when he did Rikishi. Like it was just fucking
right.
funny to me. But I couldn't get into it anymore. Then that goth over in chat says DDP. Did he do a DDP entrance, goth? I mean, he'll tell me in a minute, but I could see that the Cena Edge aspect of it though, bro, because they had that one of those
Oh yeah,
rivalries that for that time frame it stands out, and there was like that big outcry like Edge is not. He's not in this tournament. He's not. This is what we wanted, and not what we're
yeah,
getting.
yeah.
But I feel you though. I feel you when you decide that you're going to take that step and start looking into getting into training. Everybody's journey on that's a little different too. So, what was your process? Did you start looking up places? Like, obviously, you did, but how many
So
places did you look up before you settled in and settled into where you began your journey?
so I mean, like, I guess when I was younger, and it was so funny because like this is how I thought it worked. Uh, Slowly off based off of like I want to say it was the first Spider-Man movie where like all the wrestlers are in a line signing up to wrestle. You know, Bonesaw, Macho Man Randy Savage, and I thought that's how it worked. You have to go to the WWE show, get in line, sign your name, and then maybe you'll get a match. Like that, I thought that's how it worked. Obviously not, right? But I was trying to find places to do that, and I thought, oh, you can only do that at the big shows, at WWE and TNA. I thought you could only do it there. I had no idea that there was a indie wrestling scene up until like maybe I was maybe 13, 14, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I found that out, I'm like, oh, cool, local wrestling. Like I'm gonna watch the shows that I didn't know existed. And I started going to a promotion in Laredo called LWA. I think my tag team partner mentioned it too. Um, and it was me and three other friends. We went to a show and we started getting in the ring like after the show was done, like just messing around. Why did they let us do that? I have no clue. We could have gotten really hurt. You know, someone could have gotten in trouble, right? But we're messing around, and then we got out of the ring because they had to tear down. And after we got out of the ring, I'm like, that's pretty cool, guys. Like, maybe we should ask, like, where could we train? And sure, and like, I think I forgot who it was. It might have been my friend Javi, uh, who was a wrestler, but he's stopped now to pursue other things. He he went up to the promoter or the someone in charge, and he was like, "Hey, me and my friends want to train. Where can we train?" Like, just straight up, just ask them.
Mm-hmm.
And the wrestlers were like, "Oh shit, okay, all right, I guess we're doing this." And they told us like show up here. You got to show up on time, like giving us all the rules and stuff. And sure enough, it was at a wrestler's backyard, with that same ring that they used for the show. It was in his backyard. His name was Johnny Young, and he trained us for a while. And then after that, it switched over to a guy named at the time he was named Mad One, but recently or by now, right now he goes by George Wolf. And then he started training us, and then it went into him, and eventually it was under his tutelage where we debuted, and then we got on the show. But yeah, it was literally just an ask: show up here, show up on time, bring wrestling shoes, bring knee pads. I didn't know what the hell wrestling shoes were. I thought knee pads like like football knee pads or something. Like I didn't know what they meant. Um, but yeah, no, it happened super fast. It happened super quick. And sure enough, like I quickly realized how hard it was. Like super, like maybe day one, day two. I was like, oh shit, this hurts, and I'm very tired. Like I was not ready for this,
Yeah.
at all. Oh
Yeah, there's those eye-opening moments to say the very least that will
yeah,
make or break somebody in the first 30 minutes, really, of day one. To be fair, depending on where you're at, who's training you, what the curriculum is and what the goal is. So like I'll tell you this, when I started out, I was 17 and I had a class of 13 people. And the goal then was not necessarily to train up the best, it was to wean out everybody. And if anyone made it to the end of the class, okay, now we'll train you, and made it to the end of the course. So it was one of those situations. We started with 13 and finished with 2, me and one other. That's it. And then we got into like the training of, all right, this is now real. Like we're doing this thing. So everybody has like those moments, like that were eye opening. That maybe this ain't as easy as it looks, guys. So what were some of your training difficulties? And then on the backside of that question, what are some things that came naturally to you that maybe surprised you that you didn't think that you were going to catch on so quickly?
I want to say the hardest thing. It's funny because the first thing that they teach you is obviously your roles, your front roles, your back roles, your quarter roles, and stuff. When I first told me, like, okay, I want you to put your hands down. I want you to do a front roll, just roll. You're not gonna be on your feet. Just land on your butt, and then we'll go from there. So my first roll, I do exactly what they told me. I put my fist down, head tuck my chin. Somehow I ended up spiking myself on my first roll. And they're like, okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. Slow down, like chill. So I honestly, I have to admit, like, not a lot of things came naturally to me. Like a lot of things that I did or learned at first were, you know, not second nature. Like nothing.
Mhm.
I think the only part that came natural to me, truthfully, was the promo side of it. Like learning how to do promos and learning how to talk and learning, what to say and how to play a certain character and stuff like that. That came really natural to me. But the physical part, I really worked my ass off, like, to get where I'm at because it was not easy or natural at all.
Well, at least you got to start with forward rolls. We started with burpees. We started with 1,000 burpees, and then
Shit.
yeah. Welcome to 1999, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you got to go back, get in the DeLorean, man. Let's go. Those different
Yeah.
times, man. But you talk about promo, and that was something that was really easy for me so I started. When I started, I had a character that was just fucking ridiculous. It was stupid. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. But it was a year later that I found out it was just dumb. And it really was. And I shifted into Chronic Chris Page, which is just more of just me. At that time, I was a pothead. I smoked a lot of dope. It's just what I did back in the day. And I just, honed in on that. And I called myself a functional pothead because, the babies would come out and talk about how they were going to kick my ass because I was a stoner, whatever. And I would always come back with, well, what are you going to say when this stoner leaves with a W? Shit like that. It was just fun stuff back in that time.
Yeah.
And what's making me say that is because that was where I honed in on talking. Because I was just talking, it was just me. Just not necessarily me. I was, of course, just amped up a little bit, but for the most part, it was so much easier to relate to because it was more authentic. And I feel like maybe that's a big piece of the promo game and why you were so comfortable with it. So let's talk a little bit about promo and what made you so comfortable there. Like, did you do any kind of theater or anything like that when you were in high school or middle school or stuff like that?
So yeah, that doesn't get into.
Dope. I just guessed that. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, you fucking nailed it right on. You hit the nail right on the head. So freshman year of high school, I followed, like, my brother, my older brother, like, you know what, I'm gonna be a football player just like him, because he was beloved by the coaches at the same high school I went to. So you know what, I'm gonna follow in his footsteps. I quit that shit maybe like 4 months in. That I was done immediately. I was like, I don't like this. This hurts. My head hurts. I don't want to be here all day and stuff like that. So I'm good, coaches. Appreciate it. But I was lost. I was like, I want to do something after school. I don't want to just go to school and go home. I want to try something out. And I was like, well, I like movies. I like, doing like acting. I like playing characters with my friends and being funny. Let me try theater arts. So sure enough, I try it and I loved it. I love theater. I dove like head first into like learning about plays and like musicals and stuff like that. It was very funny because like you go from like manly sports, football and stuff to theater, but I don't regret it because then it paid off with wrestling. Yeah, I didn't get the physical part of it, but I can cut a promo like that, and I can get into a character in any way, shape, or form, and I don't have to stutter or struggle when talking, in front of people and stuff like that because I've done it 1,000 times already. So being in front of a crowd and talking, I had no problem with. It was the physical aspect that I had to like get down, like you know, like very, like I don't want to say it, like maybe
Sometimes I say just
yeah,
idiot proof shit. That's what I used to have to do. I used to have to idiot proof
there
it
you
so
go,
that I could figure it out and do it. And
exactly.
it's here's what's so cool about just kind of stumbling into the theater background. I can't tell you how many. We've probably had 110, 120 conversations. I can't tell you how many times theater has been brought up and having a theater background and how it has helped people transition into the professional wrestling field. Can't begin to tell you how many people. Some of the top names on the independent scene that have been through here, theater backgrounds, some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Because I never had that. I never did that. But I think it's pretty dope that you were able to take that and hone in on that and use that because that's what we're doing, guys. We're telling stories.
Yeah.
We're trying to suspend disbelief for a little bit, and we're trying to draw you in and sucker you in. And as a heel,
Hmm.
that's my job. I have
Hmm.
to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like I get it, and I think that's so cool that you were able to utilize that facet of the game. Now, when we talk
Yeah.
about the physicality of this on the physicality side of the equation, that comes with time. That's always come with time, and with professional wrestling, that training is every time you step in the ring. Every time you step in the ring. So all that
Yeah.
will come with time. And it leads me to like the debut, right? Like, what does that look like for you? Before we get to the debut, actually, let me backtrack. Let's talk a little bit about the character presentation. When you're getting ready to get into and make this debut, what kind of character did you have? And is it the same character that you're portraying now, or is it the same gimmick, if you will, or have you evolved it? So, all right, did you have a shitty first gimmick too?
I it had potential. I'll say that it had potential, but I didn't have the backing both from like the promoter and financially to like execute it and like, to nail it. Um, and so, but the character I had in mind was a split personality gimmick
Mm-hmm.
where one personality is a face and the other personality is a heel. And I was having all these ideas of like I'm gonna form a tag team with someone like an impromptu tag team, like yeah, that was good or whatever, whatever. And it was either like a touch, like a hit, or like a handshake or something that like, or a loud clap would snap, the character. So it was literally like something like, oh, a tag from like the opposite team, like a tag, and then it snaps. I'm like, oh no, then it turns into the crazy person, the heel.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a sane dude that was like that got along with everybody, and then it was a crazy person who wanted to hurt everybody, and that was like the rough idea I had.
The
And so I tried like nailing it, but at the time, as I was getting this character down, there was another wrestler who had a split personality character, but he did it way. I think visually he did it way better. Like he had his hair cut like a different style on one side, like Two Face from Batman. He had
mm-hmm.
wild, crazy, frilly hair and then shaved head on this side. He would paint his face half like different colors. He would wear different colored boots. His gear was split in the middle and stuff. Like it was visually like really good. Did he really lean into it like how I would have? No, but what was me, I guess. So I had to figure out how to do the crazy gimmick, but not split personality. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just be a crazy guy who likes to hurt people. That was the basis of it. I want to get in there, hurt. I don't care if I win or lose. My goal is to hurt my opponent, right? Not actually, trying to be safe, but That was a visual, I was going for. And so with the debut, I'll admit it right now, I was not ready to debut. I think I've only been training for maybe 6 months, 7 months, um, and I don't feel like I was ready. I was definitely thrown into the deep end right away, and both me and my opponent were thrown into the deep end. My opponent, who debuted the same, like we debuted together side by side, and we were a nervous wreck. My opponent was OTB. Well, he goes by OTB now. One True Brand. He's a homie down Laredo as well. Um, and so we were both like, oh shit, like we have to figure this match out now. And we had help from like the vets and the promoter, like to get down the match. We ran that match maybe, I don't know, 12 times, 5 times during training and then 6 times before, 7 times before the show. And like we just like we have to get this right. We can't miss a spot. We can't forget. Oh my God. Not giving a fuck about chemistry or getting the crowd behind us or anything. Like we just gotta hit our spots. We gotta hit it. We gotta you know like we were not worried about playing for the crowd and trying to get them behind us or anything like that. Just go out there. We'll do our match and we'll get the fuck out of there. That was our goal. Um,
We
and
would we
so
would not we would not have been friends.
no, I know. Yeah, no,
I could not. I cannot.
that
It will not. I can't go through shit.
that,
I have to. Even when I was brother, someone came in, we're gonna do this, and no, the fuck, we're not. We're gonna listen to the crowd, and we're gonna do what the crowd tells us to do. Hang on one second before you step back into your story. I got to throw a massive shout out, Tommy Jackson, huge raid of 10 plus over from a previous channel or over on Twitch. Appreciate you, my man. That is Tommy Jackson PW. You guys, please go ahead and give him a follow on Twitch and on social media. Huge shout out to Miles. I see you, brother. It's been a hot minute. I'm glad you're here. Brianna says that she loves you. She is one of your biggest fans. Oh, Bree. Every time we get one of you guys in from Texas, she is here for you in every sense of the word. Yes. She is at work watching live. So I do want to throw that out there. We appreciate you rating in, guys. If you enjoy what you see, hit the follow button. We're here literally every day. Go ahead, Bobby. Go where you pick up right where you were going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first, shout out Bree. Yeah, we love her. We all love her. She's a true fan, and we couldn't ask for a better fan. She tries to equally love all of us, and we appreciate it. But yeah, going back to the story. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I'm a lot better now on calling it out there, listen to the crowd. I can do that with my eyes closed now. But at the time, I was like, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can barely fucking roll. I can't do a proper quarter roll. Why the fuck am I wrestling? But they needed bodies for the show. They needed to fill out the card. And so we're like, fuck it. Like, we don't have a choice. Either we go out there or they fucking boot us off the show and the training. Or I don't know what the fuck they would do to us. So we go out there. I don't have gear.
Hot fucking take, man. That just feels like setting you up for failure. I'm not a fan. That's just the way I see it, and I always call it like I see it. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. I don't ever feel like forcing people to do anything. It's like our shows, for example, like how I run our live events. Is this? I will tell you who I need to go over. I'm not fixing to tell you how to lay your match out or structure your match. Like you know what I mean? Like you're here because you're a professional. And you're here because you already know how to do it. I shouldn't have to tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't.
Yeah.
And I say that because but I also would not book someone in a position to fail on one of our shows, on one of our live events. Like, that's just not, that's not, to me, it's not beneficial. It doesn't help the process. Sorry, but I'm not saying that you weren't ready, but it just sounds like the way that you're going with it is that you weren't prepared and you weren't ready to make that debut. And, it sucks because you only get one of those, but in this situation, like I don't want to ever accentuate negativity at all. You got the ability to have 2 debuts. So, that's where I say this. There's a positive spin on this, but go ahead. I hate the fact that you were put in that position because that one of 2 things could have happened. It could have left a really sour taste in your mouth, and you decided at that point that professional wrestling's not for you, and you wouldn't have even known otherwise, because you know what I mean. And it takes a hit on that confidence, and part of what builds you in professional wrestling is is building that confidence and building yourself up, not breaking yourself down. So sucks that it happened, but definitely continue on.
I mean, the way I look back at it now is I learned from it, and that is, know when you're ready and be confident in your stuff. Because if you're not confident in your stuff, then it's gonna look shitty, you know. So that's what I took away from that. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't even have gear, I didn't have my own anything. My boots were old, torn up boots, which worked for the character surprisingly because it was a crazy guy. But they were old torn boots from my trainer that he gave to me for free, thank God. And the pants or the tights that they gave me were like these like matador like looking pants. Um, they were gold, like gold ladder on the side with like red stripes. They look like an old Spaniard like matador pants. Like I don't know who they were, but they're like, here, wear this. It'll be good, kid. It wasn't. It didn't look good. And then I wore like my personal like shoot like jean jacket as my entrance attire, and that was it. I was gonna wrestle with a shirt on, but they were adamant that I don't wrestle with a shirt on. And I wasn't in the best shape, but yet they pushed for it. So
Well, I sucks that happened for you. I'm sorry about that,
yeah,
but learning from that, you had to have learned some pieces. And I'm sorry, guys. I know that there's some issues with my camera. I'm just trying to fix that as we are chatting as we go. Tell me how you bounce back. Obviously, what's that look like for you?
I will say the match itself. I mean, we hit all the spots because we fucking should have. We ran it so many times, right? No one got hurt. We were both okay. Um, and we actually kept wrestling each other maybe like 3 or 4 times after that. Um, so eventually we split up and got our own different opponents and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean it could have been better, but obviously it's your debut match. I wasn't ready. It was as good as it could have been, and I'm okay with that. The fact that no one got hurt, the fact that it was a halfway decent match, that's all I can ask for not being ready to go out there like that.
Well, where do we go from here? Right. So you had the debut. And
Yeah.
again, I apologize, guys. I'm trying to fix this camera. This never happened before. Um, where do you bounce back from? How do you move forward? Do you continue training there, or do you just turn the page altogether?
No, no, I stayed there for quite a bit. Eventually, I got my own gear. I got a singlet, and these compression pants with like designs on them, and I don't know. I got real boots, real wrestling boots that did not fit me correctly. The measurements were off. The boot was a size too big, maybe 2 sizes too big. Um, but I made it work. It was all red, and all the gear was red or had red tint to it because the character's name was Corey Crimson. Um, and so I'm just trying to go through the motions of it, still trying to figure out the character. Eventually I have an idea of it where this guy's, he enjoys both inflicting and receiving pain. So I would like get hit with something and laugh it off, and that would make the opponent hit me again or something, or hit me harder. And I was fine with that. I'm resilient, so it was okay. But uh, eventually, I feel like it was gaining some traction. And then it would just be like like squash match, or oh you're on a roll. People hate you. We're gonna team you with someone who makes no sense being your tag team partner, or someone who doesn't fit you visually. But it was just like stuff and stuff after that. So at a certain point, you know, as much as I was trying to bounce back, as hard as I was trying to bounce back and make this work, it felt like it was intentional hurdles at a certain point. And I was like, I don't know what else I could do, man. Like I'm trying my best, and it feels like they have it out for me. But I try to make the most of it. I try to get the most out of the exposure. learning at all the seminars and applying myself to every one, um, and just trying to learn, just trying to absorb, trying to be a sponge, which is what you have to be in this business. Um, and I don't look back on it with resentment. I look back on it with with like, oh, what I could take away from that is I I know how to take care of myself now, and I know what I need. I know what I'm looking for. I know where I'm lacking, and I know how to fix it. So like as much as I could look at back at that as with negativity and like, oh, fuck them and fuck that company. I'm like, no, because there's no point in that. I'd rather just take what happened, throw out the bad stuff and stick with the good, and then make my own way on my own, stuff like that.
Well,
Mhm.
at what point in time do you and the passionate one cross paths? Because we've had a
So
really
we
good conversation with him. We had a really good conversation with Caius. I'm kind of curious now. I've heard a little bit about the bad, and I want to hear about the good.
Yeah, no, no, no. This is all good. I met John before I even started training. He was one of like the wrestlers, like he was already wrestling, but by the time I went to the shows, I even started going to the shows. He was already a wrestler, and so we were like after the show, we were hanging out, and then some of the wrestlers came up to us, or we came up to some of the wrestlers. My friends already knew who he was. I talked to him before, and eventually it turned into like us hanging out with like some of the wrestlers, which we thought was so cool. Like, oh, we're hanging out with wrestlers, guys. This is awesome. And like, but I was like, they're just like us. They were like a little older than us, but they're around the same age as us. They're still kids like us. And so I've known John since like 2016. And like we've been friends ever since then. I mean, obviously recently we've gotten closer. Um, because of the tag team. But yeah, we've always been friends since then, and it's always been fun hanging out with him. He was always part of teams. Like our paths never crossed or never made sense to cross just because of our characters and the matches we had and the experience he had and the lack of experience I had. Um, so it was after pandemic when everything was shut down. Um, ironically enough, I came back to wrestling before John. For different reasons. John had his own life and doing his own thing, and I had the opportunity to do so with Five Star Wrestling. Shout out Five Star Wrestling. I wouldn't have come back without them down in Laredo. And so I debuted. John was there for my re-debut. I like calling it my re-debut because it was who I am now. Um, and John was there in the crowd, which was really cool. There's a video of him like hyping me up when I get the hot tag, and it's my big moment and stuff like that. And I'll never forget it. And a few months later, he starts training himself, and he gets back into the ring. And sure enough, one of the first people that get paired up is me and John. John was working heel, I was working face, and we were working like multiple matches against each other on like these Monday shows that we used to do, and the Five Star Wrestling Academy shows that we used to do
Mm-hmm.
also. And we flowed so well together. It got to the point where we wouldn't talk at all. We wouldn't say a word, and we would just lock up. Like we wouldn't say anything. We just do emotions, and we would like okay, and then we end up here, and then we end up there, and then you do this, and then I'll fire back. Like it was just like water. It was flowing,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at a certain point, it was a story where it was me versus this guy, and I was a heel. Uh, funny enough, I turned heel on John. I, when I came back, because I took a small break for personal reasons and I came back and I wasn't received as well, or this new character, or who I am now, wasn't received as well with my hometown crowd, and that was crazy to me. So it was kind of like a shoot, like a I was like, you're not appreciating me, so fuck you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they loved John. He was super over. So I was like, oh, we can play into that. And so we and him had a match. He went up, and I think I low blowed him, or I just hit him. Um, and I put the boots to him. That's when I became heel. And then it got involved with another friend of ours, and he was uh, like John's friend, and then but I hated him, and I was had a rivalry with him, and then it turned into this I want to say hate triangle. It's not really a love triangle. It's more of a hate triangle kind of story. And at a certain point, John was losing matches like over and over and over again. So I was like, my deal was like, oh, let me help John to coerce him into like joining me, and like we become a team together, and we'll do bad shit together. And so I'm helping him win matches. I After like a streak of losses, I was the reason why he won his match, and he was like, "Oh, what the fuck? I need your help." And I'm like, "Man, you've been losing. I did you a favor. It was this whole thing, blah blah blah." And the other friend was like, "I hope you don't join him, dude, just because he helped you." And John's like, "No, no, no, I would never. I would never do that." And it came down to me versus the other friend. It was a match, and it looked like John was coming out to save him because I was putting the boots to him. And sure enough, he has the upper hand. I'm there on my knees, and they're gonna do like the DIY, like meet in the middle, where they
Mm-hmm.
get the guy at the same time. And as we're running up, John super kicks our friend. He goes down. The crowd is like, "What the fuck?" They go nuts. Which is funny because we're supposed to be the heels, but yet they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, 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 yeah," which is not the reaction I thought we were gonna get because they fucking hated me. But yeah, they were cheering their asses off, and then we did the meet in the middle to that same guy, and then thus STK was born. What's it called? And it's been history ever since.
See, now that's the shit I like to hear. You got a big ass smile on your face when you talk about that and reliving that moment and putting it together.
Yeah,
I love to get those kind of stories and to get those kind of reactions, and
yeah,
because that's what this is all about. And reality is chatting more and more with you guys. Actually, for shits and giggles on YouTube, loudest pop VCR ever had was the creation of STK. So there you go. I mean, there's somebody throwing out some knowledge on you. And they also said, like
yeah.
I
No, it
said in the
was
past, but in the past stream, best wrestler in Texas today, hands down, 10 toes down. There you go.
wow. I appreciate that. What's it called? Yeah, no, it was. We tried our damnedest to like build it up as slowly as possible because we had the advantage of it being a weekly show, So
Mm-hmm.
we were like, okay, we'll build it up. Like it's seeds of like, will John join Bobby in his you know journey of taking over VSR, or will he side with his friend who he's known for years, longer than Bobby? That's a shoot. Like he's known him longer than Bobby. Uh, and or like who would he choose? And then when that happened, everyone thought he was going to choose the friend, chose me instead, and it's been history ever since. And yeah, no, and it happened so organically. Like it wasn't the reaction we thought we were going to get, but that's wrestling. You don't know what reaction you're going to get, and you just got to roll with the punches, and we did. We
How
tried
long ago?
being
How long
as
ago was that?
that happened, I believe, 2023 or 2022. I want to say 2023.
Okay, cool. I'm
I
just
could be
curious.
wrong. I could be wrong. I always mix up my years, but I'm
It's
pretty sure
okay.
it's 2023.
Either or, it's
Um,
either 2 or 3 year run thus far, and it
yeah,
seems to be working. Which is
yeah, it's going pretty good.
what kind of things do you guys have going on? 2025 is obviously it's in the rearview mirror. It's on its way out. What kind of stuff are you
Yeah,
looking to do in 2026? It seems like you're on this run. Obviously, we know that community wrestling is a thing that's coming up. Was it this weekend or is it next weekend?
it's weekend, it's
This
Saturday.
weekend. So it's tomorrow. So what do you
Yeah, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow.
are you working tomorrow night on the show, or are you still in transit of moving?
Yes.
Okay, so let's chat about it for a second. What do you got going on?
Okay. So it is me, and obviously Jonathon Life, versus the team of D'Lo Cruz and Revan, which you've had on the show
Both of them.
uh recently. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's both of them versus us. And I'm really excited for it because it's literally like, you know, guys who have been in this business for a while versus guys who are still really fresh to the business. So it's super cool. It's held all the time, and I feel like we can do some good with it. And I'm really excited for it.
So, what can the fans expect? I would imagine that you guys are going to play a little naughty while they play a little nice,
Maybe,
and
maybe.
we're on the verge of Christmas, right? So, yeah, season's beatings for the babies is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny because we're not healed anymore, or at least not like it wasn't up to us. We tried our damnedest to be heels, and we did shitty things, and we could told people off and cussed at them and everything under the sun. I got to the point where we got desperate enough to like just let's just be really mean to people, and people were fucking buying our merch. People were wanting to take pictures with us. People were cheering for us. We would do some dirty tactics in the corner. We distract the referee, and they're cheering that. Like at this point, like we can't fucking keep forcing it. We can't, keep trying to be the bad guys. They always wanted to. So at that point, we're like, okay, fuck it. We're faces now. And it's still been good. They were both equally good. I can't speak for John, but personally, I like playing heel a little more.
Oh,
It's just more fun to me.
I can't do a babyface. If I well, see, I'd say I can't, but yeah, obviously now, fast forwarding 20 years, we did do our first live event in November. Caius was there, good brother Caius, and I did get into the ring for the first time in 2 decades. And I did talk on the microphone, and I did, the shit just came back pretty naturally. But I was receptive. It was received nicely by those that were in attendance.
Yeah,
But I kind of think that was to be expected because that was the guy that brought the show. So I would imagine they're going to cheer for that guy. So I
right.
don't know if I can continue to be a baby face or what have you. But it's not about. I always tell the crowd, like, it's not about me, it's not about the platform, it's about the guys, it's about those guys, but behind the curtain, because they're the ones that are out here busting their ass. So, like, I don't get involved. I do my little opening
Yeah,
spiel, my welcoming. Let's turn it over to our ring announcer, and you guys have a
right.
blast because I think they're about to knock it out of the park. Uh,
That's
so
awesome.
is D'Lo and Revan coming in under the heels, or are they going to be? Is this we got a babyface match here?
I believe it's going to be a babyface match. But we're going to try to be the aggressors in this match. Put the
Go
boots to
kick,
the kids, make them earn it,
kicked in the dick, bro.
baptize them. No,
Kick in the dick.
yeah,
That'll do it. That'll do
yeah.
it.
Uh, no, I'm excited because I'm going into this like with so many ideas, but nothing concrete. You get me? So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
I would be too. I enjoy those kind of matches. I enjoy, again, not even if I, you know, wink nod, 2026. I'm probably going to do some stuff in the ring, and it's going to be late 2026. But it's coming. But I can't do. I told guys I'm not going to go in there if I'm going to embarrass myself again. 20 years. I haven't done this. 20 years. Used to be good. I was not great. I used to be good. I used to be able to, mechanic, and I could fucking sell tickets because I was an asshole. People loved to boo me. But I'm a little nervous. I'm a little, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to
Yeah,
try this? Because I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but I would not be able to go in as a baby. But you have the opportunity here. You guys got to give it one more shot. If you
yeah,
know that Revan and you know that fucking D'Lo are going to get the pop, and they're going to get cheered. There's one last opportunity, and that
yeah.
is with the power of the low blow. It can compel you.
Just just fucking no, there's no fucking
Think
barrier.
about it.
No.
Think about it. You guys go
Yeah,
out
no,
there,
I mean,
competitive fucking battle. These two young guys, they're four young guys in the ring, back and forth. Again, highly competitive. Neither team can put the other one away. Just one thing after another, and bam! Oh, you can't tell me they're not going to boot the shit out of you.
no, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm really sure.
What does
Um,
your 2026, right? So like with 25, obviously, but this is a big last booking, and of course I'm armchair quarterbacking just because I love heels. Uh,
yeah,
what are you looking to get into in 2026? What are you looking? Obviously we talked a little bit before we came on the air. You're moving to San Antonio, so obviously that's happening.
yes,
What's on the
yes.
bucket list for you? As far as whether it's tag
Um,
team or doing some single stuff.
it's crazy because as for as long as we've been tag teams. By the way, I just fact checked. It was 2024 when we formed SCK. Just fact check right now.
Okay, cool. So
Um,
it's on
but
a
yeah,
little longer than a year. So that's still chemistry's building.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny you say that because a lot of the promotions that we work for regularly, which is like EPW, APW, Elite Breakout Wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
Amazing Pro Wrestling, Heathenz Entertainment Wrestling, they have plans for us to do single stuff, which is crazy. And not necessarily like, oh, like I'm jealous of you or fuck you, whatever. It's literally like, listen, man, we did good as a team, but we were once singles competitors, and I think we should jump back on that path, that separate path. Um, so like, and that's always the thing that I've always been like concrete about is like I never want to turn on John, or I wouldn't want John to turn on me, just because to me it wouldn't feel organic, because it wouldn't feel right. Um, we can be competitive with each other. We can have matches against. We've already had matches against each other as a tag team, exhibitions and stuff like that. But it wasn't like to me when the idea came across as one of the promoters like, oh well, John wins the championship and you get jealous. I'm
But I
like
wouldn't.
organic, like realistic. Yeah, I'm happy for him. Like I wouldn't want to. Like I don't know. It's weird. Like yes, obviously we have to tell stories and we have to try our best to get a story across and stuff like that. But
The best
like I've always
stories
been
are
a
the
firm
authentic
believer.
ones, though, aren't they?
Yes, 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 exactly. So I wouldn't feel like fulfilled or like authentic or it wouldn't feel right if I just
Right.
like I'm jealous of you. I can't be. He's my brother. It's not possible. So like so I made it a point to the promoters like I would love to do singles. I'm down for it, but I'm not turning on John. And that's it. That's
Here's how
fine.
you handle that. Listen,
Yeah.
Bud, we we've kind of dominated everything in the tag team scene here. I think we got
Yeah.
to challenge ourselves when there is a team that is formidable enough that
Yeah.
deserves to see this STK
Yeah.
100%. Then the Avengers will reunite. But until then,
Right.
let's go
Exactly.
conquer our own galaxies, and like I would do something like that. Just yeah, that way,
Yeah.
unless there's big money being involved, and you're getting a
Oh,
lengthy story like. When I say big money, I mean like a long running arc that will keep you tied up and busy for 8 to 9 months at a minimum at a certain location, right? Guaranteeing you
right.
9, 10 dates, right? Like that, something like that is a bigger deal for me, especially if you're being
Yeah.
paid.
No, of
I don't
course.
know. I don't know what that looks like in Texas. I tell guys all the time, like I pay your rate. Tell me what your rate is, and if I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't do it, then I'm gonna tell you I can't do it. But I have found out
Yeah.
that across Florida, in some places, like everybody's a flat rate. Well, I don't do that. I kind of think that that's bullshit, in my opinion. I try
Yeah.
and just I get it and I understand. And as I'm doing more live events, I understand the financial side of it. I lost money on the first show, and I'm okay with it. But not everybody is okay with losing money. I understand that too.
Yeah.
Just depends on where you're at and what your mentality is. So if you could get opportunity and get it, where y'all could make a little bit of money and $100 a shot a person, yeah, fucking let's go. That's a
Fuck yeah.
different scenario. That's a different ball game. But I can also appreciate and commend the fact that you're not going to turn on them, and I don't think you should.
Yeah.
Because I do think that if
Yeah.
you've obviously teamed for almost 2 years now, there's something there, right? Like I mean,
Hmm.
it just doesn't seem like, and I get it in the realm of storytelling, right? Oh, we can plant the seed now, and then we can build to the come back together, and then we can do this. Yeah, I get it, but that's kind of been done to death. Just kind of done, overdone.
I know. I trust me. I thought about it because the ideas were presented to us like back in like October for plans in like February, and so I was like, oh shit, like we're going singles. Like, do we hate each other? Are we jealous? Do we just split up without saying anything? Like I don't know. I thought about it for a long time, and I came to that conclusion. Like if he wins a championship, I'm happy for him. If I win a championship, he's happy for me. Singles or whatever. You know, it'd be a cool or different story if like I won a tag team title with someone else.
See, that would be
like,
cool,
oh hey, what the
though,
fuck?
right? Like that's a
Yeah,
different scenario. That would be a cool
yeah.
little like what like I could see
What the fuck?
either one
Yeah,
of you popping up in the middle of like a promo and so when let's say Jonathon wins a tag title with somebody else, like you just they're cutting a promo
yeah,
or something, and then you just they stop and they're finished, and then obviously the camera pans back and like you're fucking standing there, you're like what the fuck. Like that's a
yeah,
different, a different kind of scenario, or vice versa. That's kind of cool. There's a couple of different layers that you can do there, and there's a couple of little fun things that could happen. And, I mean, that's the beautiful
yeah,
thing about professional wrestling. We can armchair quarterback everything. It's just, can somebody fucking book it and get it out there in different forms and different fashions?
right, right.
I do want to ask you this, and again, these guys. I first of all, I want to apologize again for having snafu issues here on this stream and having to cut
No
it
worries.
off and restarting it.
Happens.
And I know that with my conversations specifically, I do them intentionally. With our first one is to scratch the surface, just because I do want you to come back and I want to circle back around and I want to have more conversations because I'm all about long-term
Right, of
relationships
course.
over short-term gains. You have to come back because this botched on us. And I couldn't control it. But what I can do is get something set up here March, February, March ish, and circle back around because by then, wrestling community would have a couple of shows. If there's plans to do the single stuff, we can chat about that and what that looks like for you at that point. And we'll definitely not have a issue with Streamlabs. That was wild. And I say that to say, I do like to ask 3 or 4 questions on the way out, because to me are really important questions because it's really the purpose of why we're here. And our platform, we've been able to grow at an incredible rate over the last year. We've been doing this for 2 years. The last year or so, we've just kind of continued to build this momentum. And I like to utilize that momentum, and I like to use that momentum to try and help you guys. And that's where these next set of questions, I call them $1 million questions. Aim high. And really and truly, indie wrestling is on fire everywhere, on every continent. It is incredible to see, truly. And when I talk to you guys, I always genuinely like to know, like, where are some places that you want to work? Where are some companies that are on your radar that you want to try and get your foot in the door if you could? What does that look like for you? Where are some of those places?
One place, well, a couple places. I want to say one specific place. A couple places that I would really, really want to work. Um, Texas Wrestling Cartel is very hot right now, and that's some place I really want to aim for. Um, Desert Pro Wrestling. A couple of my homies. It's over there in California, and a couple of my friends, including Jonathon Life, got to work there. I couldn't work or go to work there because I wasn't available with my job. My job wasn't letting me get the days off.
Boo them.
Um, uh, yeah, but that's one too. Desert Pro Wrestling. Um, and truthfully, truth be told, I would love to come work for you guys. Just because uh, the way Kai spoke so highly about it to me and John, I'm like, man, that sounds like a great environment. That sounds like good people, like good show, like good storytelling and stuff like that. Like, I want to be a part of that. So definitely with you guys, I would definitely want to work with you guys. Um, and yeah, like I mean, those are like the top 3 that I'm like aiming for. Like at least realistically. And just want to get it under my belt and say, I did it. And if I can come back, even more awesome. But yeah, no, it's something that I really want to look forward to this year.
Well, I think with us, it's that's easy. because spoiler, I think we're coming to Texas. I just got to get the dates kind of nailed down with good brother Caius, and
Yeah,
make some things happen there. Like that's a non-issue. That's an easy fix. And some of the other companies, some of those I've not heard of, and to me, like my ears go up because I thoroughly enjoy independent wrestling, and I have a show for just about everything, from every companies to talents to et cetera, et cetera. So when I hear new places, like I want to go out and explore them. I want to go out and see what's there and what it looks
yeah,
like. So shout out to you for dropping some acronyms that I did not know before that I do know now, and we'll make some spreadsheets and we'll be looking back on and doing some things.
for
Now
sure, for sure.
I asked that question. It kind of like it's the softball question, really, to this next one, and it's kind of generic. You've probably been asked it 100 times, but I don't know if you've been asked by somebody who by a platform that can possibly make things happen for you. So I asked this question because, again, places to work lead to some people that you want to work with. Who are some of your bucket list opponents that you want to like try and get in the ring with? Could be in Texas. It could be, in the United States. It could be internationally. Who are some talents that are on your radar?
Oh man, um, obviously I want to aim realistically. The first thing that comes to mind is fucking Gunther, but just I love his style. But someone that's within reach. Um, and I would love to work. Oh man, this is harder than I thought it would be. Oh shit.
Plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Time is on your side, Brad.
Yeah,
And if you can't think
yeah.
of
No,
anything, we'll move on to the next question. And if you do think of something, you can always circle back around and answer it. And that's not the end of the world.
yeah.
I can preface it and say,
Someone.
it could be singles or tag. Singles or tag.
Yeah.
So,
I guess okay. Well, in a single standpoint, I would love to work Terrell Tempo.
okay.
A lot of my friends have already wrestled him. He's down in Texas. He's with ROW with Booker T's show in school. And he's someone that I've always wanted to work just because I've seen this. John's worked him a bunch of times. My friend Kyrie Adams worked him recently, and I attended his seminar, and it was something that I learned and picked up from a lot. And so that's someone I really would want to work. Sorrel Tempo is one person for sure. Uh, from a tag team standpoint, for me and John, oh man, I don't, I that's a better question just because it's me and him involved. Uh, a dream match. It's without far away without reach is the Young Bucks. That'd be a really awesome match to have with them. But I guess in a more within reach answer, um, it would be the Von Erichs, the sons of
Mm-hmm. Texas, baby.
them. Yeah, Texas through and through. Both very Texas answers.
And
So
that's
soccer,
fine. And that's
but
perfectly fine. See,
yeah,
like, I dig the history of the Von Erichs. I think that would be kind of
yeah,
dope. And I think that would be interesting to see, just, as a fan, really, in Texas with come on, bro. That is great. That is good stuff. Well, let me ask you this. And this is probably what I would consider, for me, it's my most important question because it's how my platform operates. And it's how we continue to move forward. It's how we continue to do different shows, introduce ourselves to new people and new talents and hidden gems, really, all over the world. Who should we be watching? If you could throw out some names of people that we should be watching on the channel, who would they be? And I'll preface that with, guys, that don't be that person or that individual. He don't know these questions are coming. So if he doesn't name drop you, it's okay. You just DM me. That works too. Go ahead.
no, obviously SCK. No, I'm kidding. The group of guys that I really want to like shout out and like I hope they get every opportunity possible. Is a group called the Empire. Um, they were with us in our Triple A tour. We recently just did Triple um, uh, a AAA tour in Texas. We worked with them in Odessa. We worked with them in Houston and in San Antonio. And those three guys, like God, like they have all the potential in the world. It's Aries Alexander, Santiago Medina, and Jacob Prodigy. Um, like if you want crisp wrestling and like hard hitting stuff and like people who know how to tell a story and like work cohesively as a team and like just make everything look good, both themselves and their opponent look good, it's fucking those guys. Like I will back them through and through. Another person I want to shout out uh, is Red Davis. I want to shout out Red Davis because he's been such a helpful hand with like new promotions. He's welcomed me with open arms. He's proven himself time and time again, and I wish he got more opportunities than he gets now. Like the ones he gets is great, but I feel like he deserves more just because of like the work he puts in. Um, so I would say those four dudes, like I put them on a pedestal, like always. Like to me, like if I'm looking to have a good match, or I'm looking to pick someone's brain, or just being able to just be cohesive, it's those four dudes. Those four dudes that I just will always back no matter what.
It's funny you mentioned Aries. I'm chatting with him Sunday at 2:00 my time.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, he's popping in. We're gonna have a great conversation, I feel, and I'm looking forward to it. So when I heard you name drop him, I was like, I'll be glad to tell him that I just talked to Bobby Lite, and he suggested that I be watching you. So there you go. Like, this is again, it's how I always say wrestling brings people together. You just never know how, you never know why. You just got to figure it out. And make it work, man. I've had a blast chatting with you again. I will publicly apologize one more time with Streamlabs taking a shit earlier and just nailing us and getting us disqualified. Really, because we had to restart the stream. But I am going to have you back. We'll get with me when we get off there. Not necessarily off the air right now because I got to flip this around here shortly. But get with me on something in February or March, and let's circle back around sooner rather than later, so that we can do an uninterrupted episode. For those who were watching on YouTube, you didn't know that there was a problem. But if they're here live with us on Twitch, over on X, and then over on YouTube, you did know that there was a problem, but you hung out with us anyway. Bobby, before we wrap things up, I'd like to turn things over to you. Is there anything that you would like to throw out there to our audience? Anything you want to promote, anything you want to put out there, man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Community Wrestling, first and foremost. Check this out tomorrow. If you're in the San Antonio area, please come by, please come support. We would love to put on an awesome show for you guys. And also community wrestling training, like school. They're doing their own thing also, and they're welcoming anybody and everybody. Whether it's beginner, experienced, the name, well, the meaning is in the name. It's a community. We don't want none of that toxic shit. We don't want, well, why is, like, I don't want to work here. Like, whatever. We want to put that aside. Just come train, come have a fun show. Like, just be who you wanted to be when you started doing this thing. That's the whole purpose behind it. And so, yeah, I shout them out for sure. I also want to shout out my partner because I don't think I get as far, or I don't get as many opportunities without him, whether it's directly alongside him or his guidance, or him helping me out when talking to people or being out there in the crowd. And you know uh, I definitely want to shout out Jonathon Life. Like I don't think I'm at where I'm at right now without him, truthfully. um, Shout out my trainers, Luis Spartan, Ramirez down in Laredo, and George Wolf. And without them, I am not who I am. They, yes, the basics were there, but they really redefined and made me me. Whether it was in the ring, character work, promos, both of them, I give them all the credit, like no matter what. Um, And yeah, no, I mean, follow me on my socials. Follow me, search for Bobby Light on Instagram and Twitter. I also have a Twitch. I stream every now and then. I game, and I just hang out there for fun. The same name, search for Bobby Light, and follow STK for Life on Instagram.
I just found out about the tag team Instagram and followed today. Actually, I just saw
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned that.
we saw.
I was like, how did
We
that?
saw
How
him.
is
Hey,
this
look,
not
CCP. Oh yeah.
already a thing? Like, what is this? Why do I have to do
Yes.
this right now? We should have already been there.
Yeah.
This has been an absolute pleasure to have you tonight. And again, we will circle around sooner rather than later. And we'll keep you apprised on some other things that we're working on. And as those things layer out, some realistic opportunities might be presenting themselves. For I guess, guys, the easiest way that you can show your support is by sharing, and subscribing. And it's Sensational Bobby Lite. Apparently, it's across all social media. That's Twitch, that's X, that is Instagram. So if you're here on Twitch, head over and give him a follow there. Show him some love. It doesn't cost you nothing. If you're already on social media and you haven't followed, it's been on the screen the entire fucking show. You have zero excuse. Please go out and make that happen, because the algorithm will repay. And that is exactly what this is all about, so that our guest today can be seen by more people. That's why he's here. That's why we're here. We're here to promote. We're here to collaborate. We're here to elevate and see what we can do to make professional wrestling a little bit better of a place. For my guest today, Mr. Bobby Lite, I am Chris Page, and this is where I say we will see you next time.
Thank you.